And we are live with another episode of BS Busters. Let me just sound off the call to let people know that we're having it. So this one's a little impromptu. You may or not have figured it out. This BS Busters is called Just When the BS is Gone, More BS Plops Out.
Trust us. Some of this is pretty foul, ladies and gentlemen. So be ready.
Yeah. So
followed by some interesting news from the following week.
Yeah, this is gonna be a kind of a two podcasts in one, because I was gonna do one yesterday, but the Dr. Feelgood's G@L the Switch a year in podcast part 1 popped up, so I wanted to be part of that because it's always good to be part of bigger podcasts. But but all this stuff is kind of interconnected a little bit. So I only have one thing to say, and that is, we have to talk about this. How about that Black Panther?
It's fantastic.
It's still rocking the top of the list, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, technically speaking, monetarily speaking, Black Panther kicked everyone's ass. Black Panther beat, literally, this is what you have to say monetarily speaking. Black Panther by himself and his Dora Milaje beat the shit out of the entire Justice League. Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, Cyborg with that shitty ass CGI.
Hey, I'm gonna DC. Let's see you try to top that.
Aquaman. He even topped the Dark Knight Rises. Basically, financially speaking, Black Panther kicked the entire DC cinematic universe aside from the original Dark Knight and Dark Knight Returns. That's it.
I'm sorry, you just made me laugh, man.
He beat up Superman. Financially speaking, he beat up Superman. Not physically, but financially.
All that vibranium can't. Man of Steel cannot be topped. Man of Steel.
That's right. And if people ask any questions, they're like, "How can he do that?" Vibranium. How could he possibly do that? Vibranium. like anytime I see something that people are like, how did he do vibranium? In the Marvel Cinematic Universe, how did Spider-Man vibranium? That's all you need to know. Is
I was gonna say vibranium.
Vibranium.
And meter.
How did he vibranium? How did he jump? Because let's keep it real. Some of the special effects in Black Panther aren't great, but you know what? Didn't bother me. You want to know why? Vibranium. How did he do vibranium? That's how he jumped. That's how he jumped.
Vibranium is the nanomachines of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, I mean, look. Listen. If Batman can have a utility belt that has everything he needs just when he needs it, and Superman can pull a new power out of his ass whenever he needs to, then Black Panther can do anything through the power of vibranium. Why not? Why the fuck not? Just why? I don't want to hear anyone, well, that's just, it's not very, can't do that. I don't want to hear it. But yeah, Black Panther kicked everything's ass. It will probably reach 800 million overall.
Before or after it drops from number 1?
Well, it still hasn't opened in China, I don't think. It opened in Japan and Europe. I don't think it's opened in China yet. So once it opens in China, we'll know. It'll probably reach 1 billion by the end of everything said and done. Then they'll do Infinity War. Here's the thing. Marvel has this year on lockdown, okay? They've got, they started with Black Panther. Then they're going to do Infinity War. Then they're going to do,
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ant-Man and Wasp. mean, like, those are just Marvel movies. Then you got the other shit Disney's coming out with. A Wrinkle in Time from Ava DuVernay. I mean, you know, look, and here's the one lesson you should learn from all this shit. You do not mess with the House of Mouse.
Not
if you do, because here's what you need to realize: that little mouse pimp hand is strong. Oh, are you fucking on me? He does not mess around, son. Don't start none, won't be none. Oh. So, you know, you just got to keep that in mind when you're messing with that House of Mouse. And so with that being said, we got to talk about the other part of this, which is the video game part of it. So who wants to talk about the bullshit first?
Can I this one, because I got some real beep to let loose on a specific group.
Extra credits video, I presume.
No, whatever has to be said.
Actually,
whatever topics you guys bring up, I got Chrono Trigger on Steam. So go. Choose whatever you want.
Try the ESRB. Because I'm going to say this right now. And contains in-game purchases is like a feather that could not even hurt Glass Joe.
Oh, you mean the fact that that's basically like, oh, this contains in-game purchases, which doesn't really, it's like this game contains fucking gambling, yes. Which is a completely different thing. Gambling versus in-game purchases. In-game purchases, hey, Xenoblade Chronicles X, you can buy an expansion pack. That's an in-game purchase.
Yes.
That's an in-game purchase. Or hey, Mario Kart 8 for the Wii, for the Wii U. Hey, you can buy a season pass. That's an in-game purchase. You know what's not an in-game purchase? Spend $5 and you might get the option of getting an upgraded a card to upgrade your gun in Star Wars Battlefront 2. That's gambling.
Yes, that's the reason why I said that is that Ace's application is as light as punches. Trying to, that's so light that you can't even hit Glass Joe with it.
Yep.
And that's what's bugging me right now.
And I've been constantly told that the difference between loot boxes and trading card booster packs is because you're required to get a deck in order to play a card game, which is hence why the booster cards are the lesser of
yes,
people.
That's the thing that.
Yeah, but you're still getting a good. Like, okay, it might not be what you want. It might not be what you want, but you're getting a good. A loot box is literally you having the odds. You have a distinct chance of getting a card, of getting whatever it is, or you have zero chance. Like, you could get a whole bunch of nothing. Like, it's you know, and it's not even a real good. It's a digital good that has no real value. Because you can't resell it, you can't trade it off to someone else. So I mean,
there's no secondary market.
Yeah, and so people are like, oh well, you know, it's gambling, and you know what? It needs to be regulated. Well, first of all, they shouldn't have done the shit in the first place. Let's just keep it real. Because here's the thing, okay? I'm an adult. Jewel is an adult.
And I'm an adult.
You're an adult. But a lot of the people
we are
playing,
all grown up. But there's a lot of the people out there.
Yeah, a lot of these people playing these games are 12, 11, 10, 13, 14-year-old kids. They have no knowledge or mental strength in order to not know they're being manipulated with the gambling schemes, right? Because imagine if you went to the store, Pinky, you're like, I'm gonna go to the store and get, I don't know, a bag of apples. I feel like having some Red Delicious apples. I'm going to go buy some apples. And they're like, hey, you want to buy some apples? Yeah, that's what I came here for. Well, roll this roulette reel.
And
give me $5.
We would say, what?
You You might get a bag of apples. You might get a bag of moldy oranges. You might get nothing. Spin, spin, spin. You'd be like, this is some bullshit.
Yeah. Especially since apple is like the only fruit I eat, and everything, all the other fruits I have no interest in eating because of the way they look and taste.
Well, I mean, you do you. I was using apples as an example, but you get what I'm saying. Like, we as adults know how to be like, okay, this is some bullshit. But kids will think that this is normal, and they'll gamble. And, I mean, that's not far enough. They need to say, okay.
Biting into pockets of many adults, and we'll have more stories of how the Hades did you spend $1,000 on this game.
Well, you need to have the option to
earn.
Well, what I was going to say is that you need to have the option to turn off microtransactions, just not have them be there in the first place.
But games, AAA games these days require you to use loot boxes, which is a bad thing.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like they don't need it. They want you to do it. They make it mandatory. But AAA games shouldn't need loot boxes. You shouldn't need. Look, if your margins are so razor fucking thin that you have to include gambling in order to make a profit,
there's a problem with you.
Your business model sucks.
As I said, if you need my what your budget is, there's a problem with you.
Like, okay, if you own a hotel, right?
Right.
And if you own a hotel and you can't make money from room service, and like the normal trappings that go with staying at a hotel, and you also have to charge people for toilet paper, toiletries, if they want to change their channels, that's 25 cents per channel flip. If you have to do shit like that in order to make money, maybe you need to leave the hotel business. That's all I'm saying. Okay? Because your business model sucks. It sucks ass.
Especially when your hotel room has a free bottle of water, but you have to pay if you are to drink it. You get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I've had that happen.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I've had that happen. I mean, I'm going to keep it real. The make or break thing for me to go into a hotel room is, booking a hotel is, does it have free Wi-Fi? Does it have free Wi-Fi, and are there bed bugs? Well, actually, let me flip that. Are there bed bugs, and does it have free Wi-Fi?
I thought bed bugs were a myth.
Nope. They're making a resurgence. And I wish that wasn't true, but it's yeah, man.
So, anything else we can discuss about ranting about loot boxes again?
The only thing I'm going to say is fuck the ESRB.
I said screw the ESRB and and the hide behind them, like the ESA. I mean, ESA.
Yeah, here's why it's bullshit. Because asking the ESRB to asking the offending company to regulate itself is like asking coal, oil, natural gas companies to regulate themselves. That's how you get the Exxon Valdez, the Shell oil spill, all this shit is when they regulate themselves. You can't. It's like asking a kid. It's like asking a group of kids, like a class of kids, to grade their own papers. Even if they're fucking wrong, they're gonna give themselves A's and B's, typically speaking, because they're corrupt.
And speaking of kids, there was this article I found in the ethics group, and this kid said, asking whether or not children should have their own rights. And I said that is a bad idea.
I'm not going to go that far. Here's what I'll say. Do you need to amend? Do you need to give children more rights? Yes. Should they have the same rights and privileges as adults? No.
Yeah, that's what the OP was saying. They should get he wants to give children the same rights as adults.
No, they shouldn't, because the reason I say children shouldn't have the same rights as adults is because children do not have the mental facilities in order to understand shit like adults do, or under typical circumstances they don't. Right?
Yeah, and I completely agree.
Like a child can't, typically speaking, a child can't take out a loan at a bank. They can't buy a car. They can't buy a house. They can't sign a binding contract because they're a kid.
It is, unless you live in the Pokemon world where when a child turns 10, they're on their own.
Yeah, and they'll have the local pervy ass professor always at their house, hanging out with their mom when they're not there. Yeah, Ash, I'm just gonna break it down to you. Ash, the professor's fucking your mom.
There's actually a shipping for that.
He's yeah. Professor Oak is showing your mom his twig and berries.
And there's an actual hentai for it.
Probably, because we all know that's what's... Come on, man. Every time he calls home, Professor Oak is in his house. Come on, man. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Let's...
Now for my own set of BS we can discuss about. Hunt down the...
Go ahead.
This Half-Life mod called Hunt Down the Free Man. Since its release early last month, it's gotten negative reviews on Steam, and it involves stolen assets and textures. Kind of reminds you of guys of a certain fan game, don't you think? The Metroid 2 remake.
Here's what I'll say. Their game, I know what you're talking about. I read some of the stuff too. From what I've heard from both sides is that their games are similar to shit that's in other games, but they showed that they actually bought a lot of those from those websites for Unreal, where you can just buy, not Unreal, but the engine that they use, you can buy assets. So they're common assets that are used in a lot of games. So while they are the same assets as other games, they didn't rip those from those games. They bought them, and those other games are using the same assets that they bought from that site. They didn't steal it. They just are using very generic assets. I mean, the game is shitty. The game is buggy as hell. I mean, I'm not going to deny that, but they didn't steal the assets. They just use really generic shit. It's kind of when you play those shitty My First C++
the RPG games.
No, those shitty platformers that are that use really common assets, and it's like, damn, this is ridiculous. And they all use the same shit because they got it all from the same resource kit. Yeah, it's like that. But they didn't steal it. It was just like, but the game is really bad. Like, from what I've heard, people have been playing it and like going to different areas, and the game just like blanks out and then crashes. It's a real piece of shit. I mean, they didn't steal anything, but the game's bad just on its own sake. I mean,
yeah, when one Steam user tries to accuse the game for how bad it is, he ended up getting banned from the Hunt Down the Freeman forum group.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knew this game was going to be bad though, because I mean, the game is cheap. It looks really, really fucking cheap. I mean, it looks like what it is. It's cheap, almost. How much is the game? Here, let me look it up. Hunt Down the Free Man. Hunt Down the Free Man. Come on, store. Come on, Steam store. Damn, Steam is like a bitch. You still there?
And spoiler for those who haven't played the mod, Gordon Freeman is not in the game.
Well, no. I mean, here's the thing. Here's the sad thing about the game. The actual concept is pretty cool. The execution sucked because it's a cheap ass game. Like it's really like it looks really cheap. And the sad thing is that like they had a really good idea there, but the execution sucked. And so now this kind of breaks it for other people. Hunt down the free man. Come on, damn it. Hunt down the free man. Okay, it's $25, which is a little pricey for a shitty little game, but it's $24.99, so $25.
I don't know why they had to pay a mod that Valve that clearly based on an IP that clearly belongs to Valve, which Steam is owned by.
Yeah, but Valve isn't doing a goddamn thing right now with the Half-Life thing. Like, okay, here's the story behind it. Okay, in Hunt Down the Free Man, you play one of those soldiers who attacked Black Mesa during the first Half-Life when the experiment went wrong and all these aliens came in through the breach and started attacking people. That's a cool idea. And then it also goes on to where you're like one of the survivors during the Combine, and you know, like aliens took over the Earth, and you're trying to find Gordon Freeman and bring him to justice and some shit like that. That's actually a really cool concept. The problem is that the game is really bad. It's like that actually is a pretty good idea. The problem is that the game sucks. There's only one flaw with this plan. The game sucks. Like the game is just very badly made. It's very badly made. I mean, it's sad, but you know,
right?
You know, and I mean, like it probably would have been better. Like this game probably would have been better had they spent some more time on it and put some more money into it. I don't know how much their budget was, but if you're gonna do a Half-Life game, you have to put some real like Half-Life is one of those first-person shooters that like you can't half-step when you do a Half-Life game. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you can't be like, well, you know, it's like Doom. If you're gonna reboot Doom, you can't just do some bullshit. You know, you gotta be serious with it. You know, and they didn't do that. They fucked up. So, and like I heard the game is really buggy. Like people can't finish levels. I mean, you know, you can't do that, especially when you put the Half-Life title on it. You know, you can't try to connect it to Half-Life, and you can't do that. You know, you just. That was just a series of bad decisions right there. I mean, sometimes you can't afford to fuck up. You know, you got to be perfect. Kind of like this is going to be a segue. I don't know is that okay if I segue?
Yeah, you can segue.
Okay. There's some games that if you're gonna try and build off of that game or re-release it, the name of that, the prestige of that franchise is so strong that you can't fuck up when you put a game out. These people who did Hunt Down the Free Man fucked up, okay? Like another company that has a established IP that's like world famous. Perhaps one of the best JRPGs. Oh, not just one of the best RPGs for a console ever created, Chrono Trigger. Ooh,
and somehow they effed it up.
Yeah, they effed it up. It's Square Enix. Square Enix is like watching a football team that literally has gone all the way down to the field, and they're at their opponent's 1 yard line. Like the end zone is 1 yard, less than a yard, like just a few inches away.
And somehow they fumbled it.
And somehow, not only did they fumble it, someone sacked the quarterback and ran all the way to the other side of the field because someone made a stupid ass move. That's Square Enix. They are the team that almost had it. Like, all they had to do was re-release Chrono Trigger with all of the aforementioned shit that people like and call it a day. Nope. Couldn't do that. They had to give us the shitty mobile version that no one likes. Bastards.
How in the world can they mess up something that easy and something that's handed on their silver plate?
Because it's Square Enix, that's why. Look, I've said this before. Square Enix is a company that if there's a way to fuck something up, they'll find it.
I was going to say, I thought that was another like Konami's.
They'll find it.
I mean, Square Enix is becoming like Rogue. Everything they touch dies.
Yeah, I mean, Square Enix, here's how Square Enix works. If there's a way to fuck something up, they'll find it. I mean, like, this is how bad Square Enix is, okay? If you literally, like, if you went, okay, look, all you have to do in order to fix this microwave sandwich is take it out the package, wrap it in paper towel, put it in there, and microwave it for 1 minute and 30 seconds. Then let it rest. Let it rest for another minute, and then eat it and enjoy it. They would fuck that up.
I was gonna say, not only would they F it up, they'll turn that microwave into a fireplace.
Like here's how stupid Square Enix. Here's how prone to fucking shit up his Square Enix is. If they had, I'm surprised these people don't walk around with shit in their pants because they don't know how to pull their own pants down and squat over a toilet, or in Japan, a benjo. Like they're fucking dumb. They're dumb. They're dumb.
That's stupid.
They're dumb and lazy, which is even worse. Because there's some dumb people who try really hard. You can see they're trying. It's like, this person's dumb, but they're trying. God bless them. They're dumb and they're lazy.
That is a double win.
I mean, how are you going to be dumb and fucking lazy? That's just ridiculous. I am angry. But yeah, they fucked it up. And you know what the worst thing is, that for a lot of people, like, I can't tell you how many people I know who own PCs who are like, man, I wish Chrono Trigger would come to PC. I wish Chrono Trigger would come to PC. I'm one of those people who wanted to get Chrono Trigger again because I love that game so much. And not only do they bring it to PC, they get the worst version to bring to PC. Like, it would have been so much better for them to just put Chrono Trigger on PC and just say, okay, this is the DS version and also the original version. You can play the original mode or you play DS mode. And here are some sprite filters you can use. Boom. That's all they had to fucking do. But no. No, we can't do that. No. We'll just port this shitty-ass mobile version that no one fucking likes. Because we're stupid. We're Square Enix. Stupidity in action for 30-something years.
Anything else you want to ramble about Chrono Trigger?
Ramble? I think this is a rant. This is a look. Jewel got her rant off for
the ESRB.
For ESRB, you got your rant off for people fucking up a Half-Life game. I think I deserve my rant for Chrono Trigger.
I was gonna say, how the can you get a rant off on just one game, and then we find one?
Because Chrono Trigger, I mean, look, Chrono Trigger, even people who've never played Chrono Trigger know that it's a really good JRPG. Actually, let me take that back. Know that it's a really good RPG. It's like one of the best RPGs ever created.
I'm gonna say, anybody that's into RPGs would look to that and cry.
Well, I don't know if they'll cry, but even people who've never played it know that it's a really good RPG. That has high critical acclaim, great music, memorable characters. It was part of a meme. Chrono fights everyone. He just beats the shit out of everyone with just his sword. Like, Chrono Trigger is just one of those games that's just really, really highly regarded. And Square Enix fucked that up. I'm like, you stupid sons of bitches. You're brain dead. You have the brain power of a mushroom.
And that's just wrong.
And mushrooms have no brains. They have no nervous system.
I was going to say
they just exist.
But mushrooms are still living beings.
Yes, they are fungi. They possess qualities of an animal, of both an animal and a plant. But they're their own part of the animal of the categories of living things. Okay,
and their sole purpose is to decompose other things.
Well, some funguses don't do that, but generally speaking, funguses, molds, spores, they're all part of the same family, and basically their sole purpose is to find food, eat it, grow enough to reproduce, and then the cycle starts all over again. Which is most living creatures' things. They eat, they mate, they die, and the offspring go off and do the same thing all over again. But anyway, Square Enix.
Continue.
Square Enix, you fucked up. You fucked up Chrono Trigger. I don't know how you could fuck up Chrono Trigger, but you did, and you need to fix it. Fix it or else.
And here's some other news that I believe is BS related. This Pokemon forum I go to, Poke Community, there's some drama stirring on about its founder having committing a sexual act years ago, and its staff think it's not a big deal, but its members think he should be kicked off the forum community because of his past.
Well, it depends on what he did. If he's a pedophile, then fuck him. If he just did some weird stuff, then whatever,
And there's also some kind of shady information about him using the money that was donated for the forum for his own good, for his own stuff, rather than for improving the forums.
Well,
Yeah.
Is this the guy who got in trouble for doing kind of shady shit for a while with stuff?
Apparently it happened a long time ago, before he made the forum. He created the forum.
All right. Well, I can't remember exactly, but yeah. I don't think people's past should be held against them unless they do something really, really reprehensible. Like, if you are a 36-year-old man trying to hit on 14-year-old girls, fuck you. But if you're 16 and you're going with a 15-year-old girl, legally it's not right, but you're still around the same age, so it's a gray area kind of. Yeah. That's all I can really say. I really can't, because I don't know the nature of what he's accused of, so I can't really make a snap judgment about it. But
yeah, I could share some info later after the podcast.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Yeah, it depends on the thing. If it's something that's morally reprehensible, like he should have known better, then I'm like, okay, fuck that guy. But if it's something where it's kind of in a moral gray area, then I'm kind of I don't think people's past should be held against them. like I said, if you're 17 and your girlfriend is 16, or if you're 16 and your girlfriend's 15, like I don't think that you should be, well, that's statutory rape. It's like they're around the same age. I mean, you know.
Yeah, that's the double standards with the age of consent.
I mean, you know.
It's that blurry line, isn't it?
No, it's just kind of awkward. Like it's just like, because when I was in high school, there was a girl who was really cool. She was fun to hang around, but she was too young. Like she was like 14, and I'm like 16. I'm like, I can't hang around with you, because it was just awkward. You know, it's like, I don't really feel comfortable hanging around with you because this is awkward as fuck. So, nothing happened.
And this news has spread, and this news has also spread through 4chan, and with some members making claims that generalizing that Pokemon fans are pedophiles in general, which is
that's reaching. That's reaching. I mean, like, if you lust after a fictitious creature that looks like a child, that's not pedophilia. That just means that you're weird.
Your tastes are
really
different.
Weird. It's like the people who want to have sex with what's that weird psychic type Pokemon?
You mean God of War?
Yeah. Like I'm like, that's just weird. That's just really, really weird. But whatever. But that's not bestiality or pedophilia because it's not real. It's not. Now, if you're someone who sees a picture of a 7 or 8 year old girl or boy and you want to have sex with them, that's pedophilia. If you look at a puppy or a dog and that's sexually attractive to you, that's bestiality because those are real. Those are tangible. They exist. Like you can't penalize people for their imagination. But even then, if they don't act on those impulses, that you still can't penalize them because of their imagination. But you should watch them because that's really, really fucking weird. In the case of looking at pictures of real people, if it's fake, personally, I never understood people who lust after fictitious people. They're like, man, Chun-Li, yeah, she's not real. I know quite a few Asian women that aren't built like that. Most of them, I hate to say this, but I'm going to keep it real. Most of them, until recently, did not have asses. They were thin, but didn't have chest either. I'm a 36, 24, 36 man myself. I mean, literally, if you don't have the body banging, I'm not interested. So people are like, man, she's hot. Most Asian women don't look like that. Not even close. Not even a little bit.
I was going to say, there's a standard for some people.
Well,
standards are out there.
Yeah, I'm shallow. I'll just admit that I'm shallow. I like curvy, tall women. That's my weakness. So
and personally, flat is justice.
Whatever. But anyway, yeah, for me, yeah, I like curvy, tall women. That's my thing. If you're not curvy and tall, I just doesn't do anything for me. I'm sorry, people like, man, she's awesome. If the reason you like Asian women is because of a video game character, you're going to be very disappointed. Okay, with the real thing, more often than not.
But what if the guy's girlfriend is able to pull off looking like the video game character?
If she can pull it off, she's going to have really bad posture and a really bad back. Normal women don't look like that, typically speaking. I'm lucky my girlfriend's like 6 foot and curvy. But I'm lucky. Not most guys are like me. Most women are not gonna be curvy and tall like that.
Your mileage may vary.
Yeah. Okay, what my girlfriend is around the same height as me and curvy, so that's good for me. But if she was shorter and curvy, she'd be obese. Like she would not look because she'd be short, and when you're short and you are carrying that much, then it's not carried as well. It's kind of like if you're a tall dude and you weigh 200 pounds you're in really good shape. But if you're 5'1" and weigh 200 pounds, you're obese.
Thankfully, I'm losing weight. I've lost about more than 10 pounds in the past.
It's like Shaquille O'Neal. He's like 6'6". No, he's like 6'8", 6'9". The dude is huge, and he's like, although when you're a big man, it's like like big men can be heavy as hell, and they carry it better because they're tall. But that's neither here nor there. Any other topics you guys want to bring up?
Let's see if there's any other video game news we could talk about that came out this week.
My guessing that a few companies didn't make the top 12.
Yeah, some people were mad that Nintendo didn't make the top 10, if I remember correctly.
And Apple was at number 1.
Yeah,
I was going to say
Apple.
And I was going to talk about something that showed Nintendo as number 2 with Bethesda as number 1, but it's covered.
Yeah, let me put it this way. I don't really care that. I don't like. Here's the way I look at it. Who cares who's number 1 or number 2? Like, I mean, okay, Bethesda put out very few games last year, but the games they did put out had high critical acclaim because Bethesda gets a lot of passes in this industry, okay? Because their games are buggy as hell, typically speaking, and have major technical issues. But people even me, I'll readily admit Bethesda games are buggy as hell, but I like playing Fallout. And
I get on your case about that. You like Bethesda, even though they give you games that you need a roach motel to get rid of them.
Yeah, well, the thing is that like I said, I like playing their games, but I'll never say that their games are high quality. Like, they aren't. They're too buggy to be high quality. But some people let that pass. They're like, well, in spite of the bugs, I enjoy this game. I'm like, the bugs kind of bring it down, but for some reason, I just like to sometimes just play that game. It's kind of like how back in the day I used to play Grand Theft Auto San Andreas all the time, and that's a sandbox style game, and it's just fun to dick around it. It's fun to get in a car and drive around listening to the radio doing stuff. It's fun to get into a gunfight with the police. It's fun. It's fun picking up a hooker and going under the freeway and getting some nookie for $50. It's fun. It's fun stealing a jet and going back to stealing a military jet and activating the police missions and then blowing up criminals with homing missiles. Like, it's just
that's outrageous.
Yeah, or stealing the Rhino tank and running down criminals. It's fun.
That's
okay,
comedy.
It's not like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is not a good game in the classical sense. It's kind of buggy, not nearly as buggy as Skyrim, but it's just fun to play.
It's open world and all over the place. It's like trying to build your own sandcastle.
Yeah, Elder Scrolls games aren't good games, but they're fun to play. You know what I mean? It's like Bethesda games aren't good games, but they're fun to play in spite of their flaws. But I'll never say that Bethesda's number 1. Like, to me, last year Nintendo was the number 1 publisher / developer, because basically most of the games they put out were top-notch quality. Even if I didn't like them, like, I don't like ARMS, but it's a good game. It's well made. I don't like Splatoon 2. I don't like nearly as much as Splatoon 1, but I won't say it's not a well-made game. Mario Odyssey, I thought should have been Game of the Year. It wasn't, but it's not a badly made game. Breath of the Wild, despite its numerous flaws, is still a well-made game. I think it's better than anything Bethesda's come out with for a long time. Like, Fallout 4 gets shit on by Breath of the Wild. Elder Scrolls, Skyrim, all that stuff. To me, that's my own little personal opinion. I know some people are going to get mad because reasons, but
let's see. other news, Nintendo just updated Mario's Japanese bio again, saying he's a plumber after all.
Oh, great! I don't know why they took that off. Like they're ashamed that he's a plumber. I don't get it.
I think this is probably from the social. I actually thought that it would work to see how that would flow, and it didn't go so well.
Yeah, it's almost like they need to call in a plumber to help plumb those pipes. So I mean, like, here's the thing: Mario is the American dream. He and his brother are Italian immigrants who came to America. Mario and his brother Luigi Mario opened up a business. They originally were day laborers, carpenters, and now they're plumbers. And then one day they found a particularly gnarly drain to unplug. He and his brother got sucked down it, and they became, well,
the Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, they wound up getting sucked into another dimension where there were mushroom people and giant fire-breathing dragon turtles and this princess who's just a real bitch. And I mean, like, they wound up saving her dumb ass. I'm not a huge Peach. I mean, I like Peach as a character, but if you really think of her as being the princess of the Mushroom Kingdom, she's a terrible ruler. But like generally speaking, it's just like she literally. But anyway, that's aside from the point. Like they went from owning their own business in America to owning their own business in the Mushroom Kingdom, and they're awesome characters. Despite the fact that Mario and Luigi speak total gibberish and no one understands what the fuck they're saying, because it doesn't sound like English or Italian or
they don't sound like anything that we know.
Yeah. And if you don't believe me, play the Mario and Luigi games. It's like, what the hell are you saying? They're babies, hammer, babies.
At least you can understand some of those.
They can say their names. Like Mario, Luigi, Mario, Luigi. I always thought it would be cool to have them be in the Mafia. like Mario, like I always thought it would be cool if E3 wasn't like them showing games. It was just everyone bringing their mascots to fight it out. But of course, Nintendo's mascots kicked everyone's ass because Nintendo has more mascots than anybody. Like PlayStation's like, who we got? Nathan Drake and the guy from The Last of Us and Kratos. Who's Microsoft got? They've got
Master Chief.
They've got Master Chief and a Forza car, just a Forza car, not even the Forza car, because there's no the Forza car. It's
what's gonna happen the moment you do that.
And Marcus Phoenix.
Mario's gonna jump on some heads.
And Marcus
run.
No. I'm going to tell you what they're going to do. And Marcus Phoenix from Gears of War. And then you got Nintendo. And Nintendo's got like, they're like, well, us versus Sony. It's like, Sony, we're going to kick Microsoft's ass. And they're like, wait, Nintendo's coming. Well, who are they bringing? And they're like, we got to go outside. And they go outside, and it's like the sky's full of all these fucking mascots. They've got Mr. Game & Watch. They've got Donkey Kong, like old school Donkey Kong. And then they got Mario. They got Luigi. They got Bowser. They got Princess Peach. They got Samus. They got Star Fox. They got Captain Falcon. They got
they got Kirby. Buses of partners.
They've got Donkey Kong Jr., aka the modern Donkey Kong. They got Diddy Kong. Yeah, they got Cranky Kong with that cane. They got Ness. They got Pooh. They got Jeff. They got Paula. They got the shit. Don't get me started with the Pokemon. They got 798 Pokemon.
So, as I said, that's probably just one bus worth
even if you pare it down to just the most popular Pokemon, okay, you got Pikachu, Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur, Mewtwo, Mew, Jigglypuff. I mean, basically, what I'm saying is that like Mario and Luigi would be like, Luigi, hold Master Chief down. I'm gonna bust his knee with a pipe wrench. Oh, Master Chief. Oh, you broke my leg. We'll teach you to come around here, you son of a bitch, with the Mario Brothers. Because I always like Mario's voice from the TV show. I don't like Chris Martinet. We're the Mario Brothers. Hit it, Luigi. We're the Mario Brothers, and we're back on. Bowser's gonna sit on people and eat their head, because I could see Bowser sitting on people and eating their head, because it's fucking Bowser.
Or turn them into ground beef.
Yeah. Maybe impale some people. Samus would fucking murder Kratos, because Kratos is a fucking joke. I mean, why not? And of course, we're gonna have the inevitable Nathan Drake shooting people with machine guns, and everyone's gonna be like, "Oh shit, how are we gonna fight now?" And then you're gonna have Andros come in and just kill all of them, because the dude fucking took over an entire solar system. And don't get me started with Ganondorf.
He may be smaller in danger compared to, but he still got something.
Well, he's basically immune unless you have the Master Sword. And I didn't even mention Link. Damn. Like I said, Nintendo has so many mascots, it's ridiculous. And those are just the Americans, the ones. And we haven't even gotten to the ones
they all clean up.
We're not even talking about the ones that just, we're not even talking about the ones that just stayed in Japan. We're just talking about the ones that are you know,
well known.
Yeah, well known. No Captain Rainbow or anything.
Yeah. So as I said, with all that murder, Kirby's going in there and cleaning up all the mess.
Should we include the samurai from Castle? Oh shit! I didn't even remember. Takamaru? Yeah, Takamaru. Could we include Takamaru, because he's in Smash Brothers, so that kind of gives him a little bit of
credit.
A little bit of credit. And hell, I didn't even remember the Fire Emblem folks. I mean, Nintendo has so many fucking mascots and characters. It's like, I mean, shit, you can't beat them. You can't beat the king, bitch. The Kang. I didn't say king. The Kang. You can't beat the Kang. Okay.
And
unfortunately,
Nintendo has so many mascots that Game Explain has a list of 10 dead Nintendo mascots they wish should be brought back for the Switch, because not all of them are utilized that much compared to the big boys.
And 3 of them are Advance Wars, EBA, and Zero.
Who's EBA?
Elite Beat Agents.
Oh, Elite Beat Agents. I don't really consider them to be mascots. But I mean, I could see why you would consider them maybe be mascots.
And then there's Mike Jones from Tropical. Star Tropics,
yeah. Yeah, he's a mascot, kind of.
Then the Ice Climbers and low.
Yeah. My rule of thumb for a Nintendo mascot is that if they haven't had a game in years, but people can still recognize them, that's a mascot. So most people don't know who Mike Jones is. And the Elite Beat Agents, while that game is really fucking fun, like
it's out there.
Most people don't really know who those are. Like for me, like a strong mascot is someone like Captain Falcon. There hasn't been an F-Zero game since the 6th gen, but people still know who the fuck Captain Falcon is. Like that's badass as hell. Show me your moves. Like Ness. There hasn't been a new Earthbound game since the Game Boy Advanced, and yet people know who Ness is. personally,
Smash.
Yeah. Smash is one of the best advertisements for Nintendo's mascots ever. And Sony tried to steal it, but they just sucked at it because Sony sucks at copying Nintendo. Like Sony tries so hard to copy Nintendo, but they fail every goddamn time. Because watching Ganondorf crush Metalman says watching Ganondorf crush Kratos would be pretty cool. That's true. I'd like to see Kratos try to kill Ganondorf, but I wouldn't want like human Ganondorf to kick Kratos' ass. I'd want old school blue pig with the red cape and the trident of power Ganondorf to kick his ass. He's like, I can't kill you. That'd be cool. Maybe have Link sneak up behind him and downward stab him in the back. Because fuck Kratos. Because he's always so angry. I'm like, dude, you just had sex with 3 hot chicks in a bed. Why are you so mad? Like, who's gonna do that and be angry? But anyway, so anything else you guys want to do before we wrap things up?
Oh yes, the Switch version of Shantae Happy Hero is getting an Ultimate Edition that comes with an art book and a soundtrack. But I already have a soundtrack from the Wii U version, Ultimate Edition, and I'm debating whether or not I should double dip.
Well, I mean, it's your money. If you want to, you can. I mean, personally, the way I feel about it is like this: if I already have a game on the Switch, on the Wii U, I'm not buying it again for the Switch, even for the extra portability. It's not, because on a technical level, a lot of those games run better on the Wii U than they do on the Switch.
The Switch version has all of the DLC contact.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, just on a technical level, you're getting the same stuff except just more portability. But they also, a lot of those games don't run as well on the Switch.
Plus a brand new costume for Shantae, which is a blue swimsuit.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it real.
Not worth it that much.
Shantae Half Genie Hero isn't as good as the previous one. The Pirate's Curse is a better game.
And I also don't know what's contained in the soundtrack for the Switch version. I don't know if it's the exact same soundtrack for the Wii U version soundtrack.
It's your choice. Do you want to spend $39.99 on the game? Knock yourself out. I personally already have the game on PC. I got the digital deluxe Kickstarter version, so I got all that shit as it came out. So. On PC, I don't want, having it, what's the word? Having it, portable, having the portability isn't a big enough draw for me to double dip. Just me personally, but it's your money.
It needs more features and probably even a score attack.
And here's the catch. It's a day one launch only. The Ultimate Edition.
Yeah, no.
Oh, beep.
Yeah, no. That is not happening. Nope.
I'd rather wait for Ben than to try for that.
No. I was just nope. And to tell you the truth, Half Genie Hero is just not as good as the Pirate's Curse anyway. Pirate's Curse is a better game. It feels more polished than Half Genie Hero. Seems like it's like it has more content, even though it doesn't. They have about the same amount of content once everything was added. But Pirate's Curse just seems like a better game. The music to me is better in Pirate's Curse too. But of course, I have that game on PC, so I have a different viewpoint of it than other people. Anything else you guys want to bring up? What? Who did this?
Let's see. Other than that, I think that's about it for me.
All right. So,
oh, did you hear that New Game Plus is finally added for Xenoblade Chronicles 2?
Yes, and I'm totally gonna get into that because I really want to.
You really want to some tenderizer on some of these characters that beat you up before.
Well, I just want to go through the game because, I mean, look, that's one of the fun things about Chrono Trigger back in the day is you could basically play New Game Plus and then just kick everything's ass. It was great. It was like, yeah, fuck you, boss.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think
miss
that
New Game Plus on RPG.
Yeah. So many games don't have it anymore. And I think that them bringing it back for this, a game that feels very much like Chrono Trigger, like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 feels like it feels like a next gen Chrono Trigger. Not entirely. I mean, it's really hard to compare it directly one for one.
Imagine a Pokemon game has its own New Game Plus where you can start the game from the very beginning, yet you retain all the Pokemon you've caught in your previous adventures.
Yeah, they have that. It's called the Pokemon Bank. No, but that would be cool.
For the Switch version, at least, since it's not going to be using Pokemon Bank.
Yeah, that would be cool, but I think the Pokemon Bank's a little bit better because then you can carry all of your Pokemon, because that's what I did. I basically, like, when I played X and Y, like I restarted it 3 times and got all the X and Y starters, and then I traded them to Pokemon Bank and then got my OG team, my Charizard, my Blastoise, my they weren't. They were the eggs.
But if you transfer the Pokemon from Pokemon Bank into your main game for a new game, you'll run the risk of them not disobeying your command until
They were the eggs. I'm sorry, I misspoke. They were the eggs for my original starter team.
Oh, that's better.
And I raised them up, and I was like going around, like, because when they hatch, they're level 5 or 6, something like that. And basically, I just went to town. I'm like, yeah, my little Charmander, my little Squirtle, my little Bulbasaur, and I raised them up, and I fucked up everybody. It was like it felt like X and Y all over. Not X, it felt like Red and Blue all over again, and it was a joy. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah, that'd be cool if they did that. But I mean, I think the Pokemon Bank is a little bit more accessible. Because, I mean, yeah, you pay them $5 a year, but you get access to, like, I have at this point, my Pokemon, I have like 700 Pokemon in Pokemon Bank. No, 650. 650 Pokemon in the Pokemon Bank. And I haven't even got all of them. Like, because like Sun and Moon, I just caught enough to beat the game, and I was like, I'm done. But the other ones, yeah, I mean, never has trading and battling been so accessible, thanks to the Pokemon Bank and breeding. But yeah, I friggin' love that game. It's so awesome.
I guess anything else you want to talk about, Joel, before we wrap things up?
Anything.
Not that I know of on the spot.
Okay. Any games you guys want to recommend before we bow things out?
Let's see. I'm still
going for Splatfest. That would be it.
Yeah, I'm going with Team Egg, since technically that's what came first, evolutionarily speaking.
Huh. So both of us are with the Octarian.
Okay. I am not.
And apparently Marina, the Octarian, wishes humans are real.
Humans are real. They just went extinct. Except for a damn cat. But here's what I was gonna go. If you guys haven't played Xenoblade Chronicles 2, play it if you get a chance. It's really good. It's astonishingly good for what it is. What else? That's it. Enjoy. Sorry this podcast started a little bit late, but we were having some we were waiting to see if another podcast open up, but it didn't. So here we go. So you guys have fun, enjoy, play your games, enjoy March. Don't let the weather fool you. It's still winter, folks. And peace.
Beware the.
You missed that part.
Yeah, could you repeat it?
And beware of juices.
Much better.
Be afraid of the Naranja juices.